Hello, this is Jennifer Waymark, and you're listening to an Oshawa Museum podcast. Today's topic is the Battle of Vimy Ridge and the sacrifice of Albert George Howard. This podcast series aims to actively promote awareness and appreciation of our community's history, highlighting remarkable artifacts, documents, photographs, or events from our past. We hope you enjoy the podcast. April 2017 marks the 100th anniversary of the Battle at Vimy Ridge, France. The battle was a large and bloody one and sent Canada on the path towards true nationhood. In a previous podcast, we learned more about Phillip J. Phillips and his sacrifice at Vimy Ridge. Today, we will learn a bit more about a soldier named Albert George Howard and how he came to be on Vimy Ridge during that terrible battle in April 1917. Albert George Howard was born here in Oshawa on April 18, 1897. Albert was one of 6 children born to parents Leslie and Effie Howard. The family lived at 113 Elgin Street West. Library and Archives Canada, the repository that holds the records for the Department of National Defence, has been working to digitize all of the records related to men and women who served Canada during World War I. The records of Private Howard are some of those that have been digitized and help us to learn a great deal about this young man and his terrible sacrifice. Albert was just 18 years and 2 months when he enlisted with the Canadian Expeditionary Force on June 25, 1915. When he enlisted, he joined the 4th Canadian Mounted Rifles before being transferred to the 2nd Brigade of the Canadian Mounted Rifles. Just 23 days after enlisting, on July 18, 1915, Howard was in Quebec City, where he boarded a ship bound for Shorncliffe Station in Kent, England. He arrived in England 9 days later, reporting at Shorncliffe Station on July 27, 1915. Shorncliffe was used as a staging camp to organize the soldiers destined for the Western Front. Howard joined the Canadian Training Division until he was sent to France on September 22, 1915. By January 1916, Howard had become part of the 8th Canadian Infantry Brigade. On December 1, 1916, Howard was admitted to the 2nd, 3rd Southern Midland Field Ambulance with symptoms of shell concussion. He was treated at the rest station located in Varennes, France, and returned to the front lines days later. Howard got himself into a bit of trouble shortly after he returned to his unit in December. Howard was tried by summary trial on December 21, 1916, most likely in front of his commanding officer. His military file indicates that he had to forfeit 4 days of pay for the offense of, quote, committing a nuisance in an outhouse belonging to a billet. At this point, exactly what he did to that outhouse is unclear and may never be known. Howard was with the 78th Battalion on April 9, 1917, when the battle at Vimy Ridge began. He was part of the 4th Canadian Division, 12th Brigade. The first wave of the offensive began on Easter Monday morning. The weather conditions were cold, with sleet and snow hampering efforts. While the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Divisions were able to reach their first objective an hour or so into the battle, the 4th Division was struggling. The advance of the 4th Division was almost over shortly after it began. The decision to leave the portion of a German trench system intact was disastrous and resulted in a large portion of the right flank of the division being wounded or killed. It is not clear exactly when on April 9, 1917, Private Howard was killed. His final resting place is unknown. He is one of the 11,285 Canadian soldiers inscribed on the memorial at Vimy Ridge. This has been an Oshawa Museum podcast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other historical video podcasts and subscribe to our channel.